Hey guys, it's Al from Altruistic Channel. So what I would like to do with this particular segment is talk about the basic underlying thing for all things Altruistic Channel, which is spirituality and faith in relation to humanity and hope that we can save the planet. So essentially what I firmly believe is that we are at a point in our lives as far as a race that we are being questioned as to what legacy we're going to be leaving for man, right? For the universe, what is it that we're going to be saying about ourselves, or what is it that the history will tell? And as a result, I find that we have gotten so bogged down with titles and entitlement and names and having to be right and ego that we have pretty much put ourselves in a very bad situation as far as the legacy would go. I mean, at this point, we still have people denying global warming, and we're still dealing with issues like whether or not women should be allowed to vote, basically. It's like just asinine stuff. We have kids with semi-automatic weapons. I mean, the legacy that we're leaving at this point, the one that we would leave, is not one that I care to be part of. So within that construct, what I wanted to do with my interest in this was based partly in being a trainer educator type of thing, where I wanted to kind of introduce the idea behind a return to faith, and the need for community as a sense to commune with like a grander power. And so I found that for me and for many people that I know, we needed to reestablish what it was to be a person of faith and to separate ourselves from organized religion, or specifically of religious organizations or factions. Here's the thing. I never judge anybody because I think judgment is stupid. That's for someone who has way too much time and nothing and have not really accomplished anything for themselves. But speaking on behalf of those of us who are logically thinking, religion single-handedly has done more damage to the world than any other entity, because what it did is that it took something pure and divinely given, a seed of life that God gave us himself to help us guide ourselves through whatever we would encounter, and morphed it into a hate-filled, separatist, stratified system that basically houses child molesters and won't even apologize for it. I mean, it's gotten so bad and negative that there's no wonder that a lot of people are just walking away from religion. So the truth, though, is that that's not what is the underlying factor to religion. The underlying factor to religion is faith. Faith in a higher power and faith in yourself. Faith in your abilities to rise above whatever your obstacles are and turn them into opportunities for you to grow and walk in your spiritual path, right? That's basically the purpose of faith, because it provides that hope that you can survive and thrive. And so, for me personally speaking, there's nothing more universal to humanity than the fact that we do have that one thing in common. If you take away the names of the deities that we attach to it, because it becomes irrelevant, it's an ego-centric thought process, because you're basically saying, I have to be right. Well, no, you don't have to be right. You just have to agree that there's something higher and bigger than we are. And so when you do that, you start to bring the parallels of everyone around you into focus. And you are able to then kind of open up dialogues that you wouldn't have before, that allow you to kind of understand where they're coming from and they can understand where you're coming from, because you're coming at it from a neutral stance. It's almost like, as a strategist, like what I do with my business is with the entrepreneurs and so forth, is I look to them and then I ask them like an onboarding survey type of questions, and from that I get the information I need to then, during the course of the covering of the material, I should say, of the training program, I then am able to take that information and put it into terms that relate to whatever it is that we're covering, that they may encounter as like a stumble or as a block to fully integrating whatever it is that we're discussing as far as material. And I make it resonate with them through their own life experiences. And that's something that you can do from a neutral standpoint. I have no vested interest in the topic, right? And so as a strategist, it's also like looking at something long term. You don't necessarily ever look at anything prior to a certain point way off in the distance, right? But in order to see that distance and to see that fine point all the way at the end there, you would literally be able to see everything between you and that point. And that's why it's so important for me as a person and as a spiritual leader to reignite the fire within all of us to connect with spirituality and with faith. And because that hope, by doing that, we give hope and we give rise to hope that God can help us and whatever we believe in can unify us enough to then take on the real global concern of saving the planet, who herself is under a lot of stress. You know, not only is she now aware of us, but on top of it, she's got people still arguing whether she has the right to continue on. I mean, I don't want to get all political and stuff or too into religion or not or anything like that, but at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, is the legacy that we're going to leave one of victimization and of not doing anything when we had the opportunity? Or is it just going to be like self-atonement and stepping into your responsibility? Because when you do that, then you are able to then represent your kids better. And at the end of the day, aren't we talking about their future and if they're even going to have one? If you're not going to atone for this, if you're not going to step into your power and take on the global warming aspect and heal the planet, then why the fuck are you having children? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to have a planet to grow in. So, you know, it's when you speak in terms like that that you get real clarity and you start to align yourself with the spiritual nature of your path, because you don't need someone to explain to you what you can feel on a frequency level or on an auditory side. You can do these things on your own, and when you master those things, then you can literally represent your best version of yourself to the world, and you start to fight for things that you believe in. And that's why I believe that faith and hope are going to be the unifying factor to help us save the planet. And that's it for me on Altruistic Channels. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and that is my take.